by far my favorite gear is the gear that just gets out of the way, allows you to create things the way you want without being too much of a hassle. So today I want to talk about this little guy that I'm shooting on right now. No, not the iPhone 16 Pro Max, although that is the camera that is being used, what it is attached to. And that's the new 𝗖𝗛𝗘𝗖𝗞 M7 gimbal. Am I the only one who absolutely loves winter and snow? My hands are freezing, but so beautiful. You don't always need the most expensive or the largest amount of gear to make something really compelling. The least interesting thing about this is the fact that it's a gimbal. So while this does a great job at giving you very steady footage, that is not the coolest thing that this does. The M7 comes in one of the nicest hard shell cases I've seen for a mobile gimbal. Like I said, it's pretty large, but it is extremely thin. What's kind of unique is on the bottom, it's like, again, fully like just molded for the product itself. That's interesting. In terms of build quality, everything's feeling pretty premium. The grips are good. The motors and the arms feel very solid. Nothing feels like your phone or anything's about to fly off the rails. What I like is all three axes are locking. You got a pretty traditional tripod here. You got a focus wheel on this side, your trigger, you got a screen, all the traditional stuff that mobile gimbals come with. But now let's get into some of the more unique features. The first one is it does actually have a telescoping neck to it. So if you're getting selfies, higher, lower angles, it gives you an extra 7.5 inches of reach. A feature that honestly is borderline #1 on my list, even though it may sound kind of silly, is this thing has two 1/4-20s, but we have a nice 1/4-20 on the side here with some sort of locking pin. So I'm guessing they have a first party accessory, maybe like an extra grip or something that goes right here. But I like the fact that it's also a regular 1/4-20, so I can attach my own accessories. I remove that real quick. You can see right on top there's another 1/4-20, and I love this because this is where I'm putting this crazy little contraption. And this is the first mobile gimbal that I'm very comfortably able to hook up my Rode Wireless Pro with my phone in here. Normally I have to have the cable come down to here, but then you can't turn the gimbal all which way around. Like, this is the first time I can have the receiver up here. I don't have to just like try to clip it to a phone wallet or tape it. I put a right angle Type-C adapter on the bottom of the phone so the phone can still sit as close to this motor as possible. Everything balances nicely. You can see that the gimbals aren't struggling at all with this microphone setup on it. It looks great, it functions great, tear down super easily. I like that this just uses tension to fit whatever size phone you have. It comfortably fits with the case. You can easily transition between horizontal content and placing your phone vertically. Now you also may be wondering, what is this little thing up top here? Well, this is a built-in LED light that you can adjust the color temperature and also the brightness in 100% steps. So I feel like a lot of these LEDs on mobile gimbals have like 3 brightness levels, and here you can actually, go between 0 and 100%. But you also notice this little camera right here for built-in AI tracking. So without needing to use a third-party app on your phone or only using their app or anything, all the AI tracking happens within this one system. Like I was saying before, gear that just is simple, easy to use, it gets out of your way, and that's what this M7 seems to be doing. It allows me to just, set the camera down somewhere. I can loosely put in the composition I want, lock it in, or I can turn on the little AI camera right there and have it follow me around and get all sorts of different shots without really having to do much. I mean, who needs a camera person anymore? I mean, this gimbal's just following me. And what I love is the ability to connect it without any wires. It actually comes off super easy. You just pinch these 2 release buttons on the side here, and you can see a little smart connectors. And this allows you to rotate it. So if you are filming yourself, I can have the AI tracking me this way, the LED light on me. But then if I'm I'm gonna try that again. A little too dramatic there. But then if I want to film other people, I just pinch the sides and turn it around, and it magnetizes and clips right back on top. And again, since this is all built into the gimbal, on this back of the screen here, I can swipe to the right and I can see what this camera is seeing. This is also helpful if you use the back cameras like me all the time, even when you're filming yourself, where normally you're just kind of guessing if you're in the shot. And while this isn't representing exactly what your phone is seeing, it's more or less going to give you proper composition. Speaking of functions, another unique mode that I don't really see on a lot of gimbals here is on the side you'll see A/B. And this thing can actually do A/B programmed positions. And even though at this point I feel like I've already said there's so many standout unique features, this one probably takes the cake for the majority of you, and that is the fact that the screen is now removable and has its own battery and everything connection to it. Now you can set this gimbal down somewhere, you can use the telescoping neck, you can use the AI features and control everything from this remote. So you can see what the AI camera is seeing, you can start, stop, record, you can adjust functionality from the gimbal. And like I said, it has its own built-in battery. You can recharge it via the USB-C port on here, or of course, once it's connected back to the gimbal, plugging in the USB-C port on this side will charge everything. And they do advertise a 12-hour battery life. However, if you're using everything at max capacity, so the LED light on full brightness, the AI camera, that's gonna knock you down to about 4 hours or so. Now, in terms of cons, I'll mention my little setup right here for the cold shoot. Again, I love the fact that a 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 is on top here. That is the furthest thing from a con. However, it is just like a touch close to the gimbal motor on the side here. It won't sit flat, allowing you to not connect it. So I just had to use this little like 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙 female to female adapter as almost a little riser, so it just kind of clears the motor just fine. You could also use like a little magic arm and stuff, but that just started to put weight in too many different places, and I like this setup because it still keeps it minimal, doesn't get in the way of the motors, or when you pack this thing up, you can still fit it in the case without having to take those little adapters off. And altogether, I'd say those adapters are maybe like 10 to 15 bucks total. Everything should be efficient for the job in which you are trying to do. And a lot of times when I'm going out to especially make content, BTS footage on bigger sets and stuff, and I love using the iPhone. You guys know how much I have fallen in love the past couple of years of filming on an iPhone. But I have been looking for an accessory that allows me to, rig the phone up to aim it at things. So something like a tripod. This gives me a tripod, a gimbal, something with a bit of an extension to it. I love the fact that it has 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙s on it. I know I keep talking about that and it may sound silly, but the fact that I have the mic receiver on there right now and it's just super clean and simple, I would love to figure out how to rig a SSD or something, but without complicating it. It just really seems like Home kind of thought about everything. Like, how can we put everything into this M7 while not making any compromises? Again, there's just not many bad things to say about, or really any harsh critiques I have for this. Honestly, the closest thing to a critique or kind of thing I'm missing out on is a little bit more integration into the Blackmagic camera app, but that may be more, the back end having to deal with Blackmagic and getting them to add this to their approved list. So that way things like zoom or manual focus will work with the focus ring on the side here. But if you've been looking for like an all-in-one setup gimbal phone experience thing, the M7 should be a strong contender in that search. So of course, if you want to learn more, pick one up for yourself. Check it out in the link in the description below. I would love to hear what you all think about the M7 in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.